Spurs approach. There's a lot to be said for knowing, Greg, who you are and what your game plan is, and there may be no other team that gets that better than the San Antonio Spurs.
And Kevin, it helps to have that core of Manu, Tony, and Timmy there as the foundation, and coaches on the floor for each new wave of players that come on board, whether it's Leonard or Splitter, Mills, Green, or any of the other role players that have come through the Spurs organization.
All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. Hey, guys, what do you think about the offensive approach we've seen so far for the Rockets?
Guys, they are dialed in from beyond right now. They didn't waste any time getting into a groove in this game.
They've been distributing the ball really well tonight, too. I mean, a decent number of assists so far for them.
Terry is out there with Andrew Goudlock. Then it's Corey Brewer. Then there's Beasley, and it's Capella in at the 5. That's the group starting the second quarter for the Rockets.
And for David West last season, the thought was he might increase his production with Paul George out, but the opposite happened. West suffered his lowest scoring output in a decade, only 12 points per game on 47% shooting. Rough showing for the former All-Star.
Here's Mills. The Rockets making the shot. And Goudlock with a clear path to the hoop. The open shot by Brewer. Off target there. That would have pushed the lead to double digits. Spurs trail by 9. Oh, Greg, getting back to West, even though his scoring was down, his playmaking was up. You were talking about that. Clark, 3.5 assists a game last season, by far the highest number of his career.
Yeah, one of the very best pros I've ever been around. He's very smart. He's tough. He's all about team. And, you know, he makes things happen. Impacts winning in a lot of ways, and those assist totals indicate that.
Now, here's Mills. He's been patient so far, nothing yet on the scoreboard.
Clearly, he's one of the best there is in the business when it comes to making that lead pass.
Here's Terry. 7-point differential. Pass to Beasley. Off with the layup. The Spurs have gone 2 of 4 shooting the ball here in the second. Clark, some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, they need a basket just to regain some momentum here, Kevin.
To the right side. Here's Goudlock, and some very quick points for him on that possession. Goudlock's got the lead up to 9 now for Houston.
One thing about Corey Brewer, he's a defensive specialist, has a combination of size and quickness that's real hard to score against. I mean, equally good at defending in the half-court and court transition.
And San Antonio calls the first timeout of the game. Going back to Corey Brewer, he also has a sixth sense of sniffing out steal opportunities. Very quick hands. He's averaged 1.5 steals a game over his career.
And Kevin, Corey's one of those guys that's always going to give that effort offensively and find ways to contribute there, but more importantly, he's going to give you results on the defensive side of the ball.
He has an amazing motor. It never shuts down. Looking at who's out there now for the Rockets. Howard's checked in for Capella. Smith comes in for Michael Beasley. Trevor Ariza's checked in for Corey Brewer. And James Harden subbed in for Goudlock. Now, here is Harden. He's got 5. Smith outside. Clock at 4. Fires it up. Harden's shot is good. Harden's got 7 points in the game. Spurs trail by 9. Up top, Mills. Terry covering. And Mills kicks to Aldridge. Baseline jumper. Rebounded by Howard. Rockets have gone 4 of 7 from the field in this second quarter so far. A shot by Harden, wide open. And that basket pushes the lead to double digits.
Not too much respect shown to him by the defenders.
And here's Leonard from 3. Rockets with the rebound. They're moving on after the tough loss they took at the hands of the Warriors.
And the issues they had defensively, in part, I thought, was a huge factor. Really compounded, I think, because it was a road game for them.
Well, you know, they gave the crowd a bunch to cheer about. And when you do that, you put yourself in a really tough position trying to come away with the road win.
And for Trevor Ariza, almost exclusively a perimeter player on the offense last year, New scheme, Greg, new teammates, big adjustment.
Yeah, the Rockets having Dwight Howard camping out in the lane and James Harden needing space for dribble drives. Not much room to operate inside for Ariza.
But they do like his defense. We know he can hit the three. It's a pretty valuable commodity for him. Harrell, he's checked in for the Rockets. Patrick Beverly comes in for Jason Terry. Then for the Spurs, Kevin Martin, he's checked in for Green. And Andre Miller has subbed in for Patty Mills. And Beverly kicks to Harrell. And he makes no mistake on the slam dunk.
You know, there are a lot of bigger power forwards than him in the NBA, but very few that rise up like he can. You know, you talk about Trevor Ariza last season. I mean, his field goal percentage dipped to 40, mostly because he only took threes, or so it appeared. It's hard to be efficient if you're only shooting threes.
Just 4 to shoot. Martin with the bucket. Rockets leading by 14. Harden dishes to Howard. Harden against Miller. It's Harden with the drive. Cannot hit. Great D that time from Duncan.
You guys, when you think about Trevor Ariza, he was signed by Houston last year to play defense. I mean, and did he deliver on that end? He was usually matched up against the opponent's best wing scorer, and he had the highest steals average of his career, almost 2 a game. Add to that, he is a knockdown shooter from beyond the arc.
And so it's Houston with it after the basket by San Antonio. And the rebound goes to Duncan. Spurs trail by 12. About 3 seconds between shot and game clock. Leonard the pass to Martin. That's good, and it's Leonard with the assist. Martin's got 5.
That was big because they dug a big hole in the first quarter, but starting to show signs of life.
Sometimes, for whatever reason, a lot of times you don't know why. It takes a little while to work the knots out, but it looks like they're putting it together right now.
And so that's the end of the...
All right, Kev.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, everybody. Ernie Johnson here alongside Kenny. The Jets. Houston came ready to play. An exceptional game plan helped them open with a 12-4 run. By the end of the first quarter, their lead was 7. Then in a hard-fought second quarter, they more... And now, folks, it's just about time for the third quarter.
The second half just about to get going here.
Well, James Harden has simply been getting it done. 10 points, and he's got 2 baskets from out in three-point land.
And I'm sure they'd like to get a few more of those out of him.
While we've got a moment, let's set the floor. Brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up for the second half. On the court for San Antonio. Aldridge out there with Duncan. Then it's Tony Parker. Then there's Kawhi Leonard. And it's Martin in at the 2 spot. Duncan. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
Can't be any surprise to you that Tim Duncan, folks, last year became the leading rebounder of all active players. Passed up Kevin Garnett for that honorable distinction. We're talking 15,000 rebounds total over 18 seasons.
Getting back to Duncan's rebounding, he's always had the great size and wingspan and timing, and he really positions himself well for those rebounds. But what seems to separate him is his quiet toughness. He'll never back down.
Yeah, it's hard. You know, he's not a guy that's going to yell or pump his fist. He's not going to flex his muscles to the crowd. He just silently assassinates you
well said.
out on the floor.
You're right. You're so right. Here's Leonard. Following the basket by Montejunas. Leonard attacking. Knocks it loose. Montejunas with the steal. He lobs up the alley-oop pass.
Such a strong finisher on the fast break.
And, Greg, I love the fact he's always in control. Even though he's going at breakneck speed, he still maintains his body control.
Clark, last season we saw Montejunas make some nice strides.
Yeah, big uptick in his scoring efficiency, Kevin. Both his shooting from beyond the arc and from within the arc increased.
The Rockets making a switch here. Beasley's checked in. Rockets leading by 13. It's Harden with the drive. And he gets it to go. Harden's got 12.
The defense not putting up any fight on the inside. They've allowed 10 straight points in the paint.
That's not the kind of streak you want to be part of defensively. Tighten it up, fellas.
Now here's Leonard. He's got 6. There's the triple, and that one's good. 9 points in the game so far.
All right.
And Montezumas actually showing a newfound post repertoire there. I mean, he's deceptive. He has hooks and pump fakes, little up and unders. The Rockets looked to him for offense when they weren't playing through Harden.
And Parker, here we go. Martin kicks to Aldridge. Dishes it to Duncan. And Michael Beasley picks up the foul. That's his first foul. Houston making some changes. Corey Brewer's checked in for Montezumas. And it's Terry in for Patrick Beverly. So San Antonio going with an almost entirely new group here. West is checked in for Duncan. Kyle Anderson comes in for LaMarcus Aldridge. Daniel Green, he's checked in for Leonard. And it's Ginobili in for Kevin Martin.
And Montezumas is a very confident player. I think where he can still improve is his rebounding and defensive impact. With a 7-foot frame, he's got to learn to play like a 7-footer.
And the Rockets making a change here. Smith is checked in. And San Antonio with the change here too. Mills, he's checked in for Tony Parker. It's stolen by Smith. Poked away. Passes to Harden. San Antonio with the rebound. They come into this one following a loss to the Thunder.
You know, I don't like to use the word shock, but that was a shocking result for me. Nobody saw that one coming. To lose to that team was surprising enough, but to get blown out like that?
I know. I mean, I'm with you there. It just seemed as though they were sleepwalking their way through that entire game. It was, in my estimation, just inexcusable.
A moment here to check out some of the stats for Harden. He's right around 29 points a night, 7 assists and 6 rebounds. And he has been passing the ball like a virtuoso. That's what really stands out about these recent performances.
Hey, every train needs a conductor, man. He unifies his teammates, sets the tempo, and
Patience. Patience. Taking early threes is leading to long rebounds, which equal to transition points. Make the defense move, and let's pass up a good shot for a great shot. Let the game come to you. We're forcing the issue too much.
Try to change that around, and that's why he needed the timeout.
Houston with a big group substitution here. Dwight Howard, he's checked in for Smith. Montezumas comes in for Michael Beasley. Trevor Ariza's checked in for Corey Brewer. And it's Patrick Beverly in for Jason Terry.
And one thing that everybody loves about Coach Pop is his frankness. You get a taste of it in interviews, but he's as honest and straightforward with you as he is with anybody else.
Spurs trail by 14. Now here's Mills. He hasn't scored yet. That I'm sure will change. Leonard draws the double. Inside. Shot's good by Mills.
And I'll bet his percentage is pretty high from that range.
Rockets leading by 12. Harden kicks to Howard. Back to Harden. Houston moving the ball around. And it's Beverly missing.
No other way to put it. Just a poor shooting performance for him. But luckily, his teammates have picked up the slack.
It's Ginobili on the wing. Feeds to Duncan. He dishes it to Mills. Aldridge, the pass to Duncan. Clock is at 3. Here's Leonard. Offensive rebound. Here's Mills. He's averaging just around 8.5 points a game. Duncan can't hit. For Houston, they've gone 6 of 9 from the floor here in the second half. They've got to be happy with that. It's Harden with the drive. Howard at the elbow. Out to the wing. The three-pointer, no good.
There's some good defense for you. I mean, for somebody who's as good at shooting the three as he is, you need a defender who's equally adept at guarding against it. That was well done.
I like that. They obviously put the right guy on him.
It'll go. The Rocket lead is cut down to just 10 points with the bucket from Ginobili.
That's their third straight make off an assist.
Great ball movement.
It's a 4-second differential between the shot clock and game clock. Now here's Beverly, covered by Mills. Maninas gets to Ariza. The Rockets with another miss. And now the fast break, Ginobili with the ball. Beyond the arc. And the miss. And the final period of play just about to start. Houston leading by 10. Brewer is out there with Beasley. Then there's Terry. Then there's Howard. And it's Beverly in at the point. That's the 5 for Houston right now.
Boy, he threw out some punishment with that two-hand throwdown.
And Clark, now's the time to do it. Continue to attack that rim.
Kicks to Martin. Puts up a 3. But they recover it. Rockets shooting well, 50% from the floor. Here's Terry. Well-timed pass, and he goes straight to the bucket for the layup. And the Rockets lead by 14. Here's San Antonio now. Parker kicks to Anderson. And it's Martin penetrating. There's the killer two-handed slam.
Now that's finishing your work right there.
Powerful two-hand jam, you're right.
And I tell you what, if he's got a few more of those in him, this lead will start shrinking even further. They've been the better rebounding team by a healthy margin, but it hasn't been enough.
Yeah, you know, they're hustling and giving a good effort, that's for sure, but unfortunately, the execution has been lacking.
Parker double-teamed. Anderson right side. Martin wide open. He fires. No good there, and that would have cut it to single digits.
He's still looking for his first three-pointer of the second half after making just one in the first.
And it's good. That's 7 points for Howard.
Nicely done. They continue to attack inside, and that's 10 points in a row in the paint.
If you can't stop it, here it comes right at you.
San Antonio calls timeout.
And guys, Dwight Howard's an interesting guy, one of the most physically imposing players in our league, and yet he's known for his lighthearted, almost playful nature.
Let's catch up with Doris from the sideline.
Thanks, guys. I was able to hear Greg Popovich coaching his team during that last break. He was not happy with their play to this point, telling them we're getting out hustled, plain and simple. There's still time, but we've got to dial up our effort. Kevin, we'll see if they have enough to get it done.
Catching up on the changes for Houston. Capella's checked in, and it's KJ McDaniels in for Patrick Beverly. And for Howard, his parents raised him to keep a smile on his face and stay upbeat and remain positive. He's done all those things and still competed in the rough and tumble world of pro basketball.
Yeah, and yet some of his peers and contemporaries have gone at him. Durant, for instance, Kobe Bryant called him soft. Byron Scott questioned his desire. Guys go about their work in different manners.
No clue how he got that one to fall.
And that was not a soft foul he had to get through, Greg. I mean, he had to really power that one up and in.
And there's Terry to the paint. Banked in off the glass. And the Rockets lead by 16.
They should continue to get the ball inside. The defense struggling to contain them.
And when you make 5 in a row in close like that, it also takes pressure off your perimeter guys, too.
Aldridge kicks to Green. Beasley with the steal. Here's McDaniels. He's covered by Leonard. It's stolen by Green. Around 3 minutes gone here in the fourth quarter. There's Parker with the 3. The shot is off. Good work defensively by Terry. Rockets leading by 16. Fade away. Can't get it to go. Now Parker. Leonard with the ball. Guarded now by Michael Beasley. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there. And a moment here to take a look at the scoring breakdown for the Rockets.
I thought we might see the defense adjust at halftime to slow the break, but that has not been the case.
Something that's also benefited them tonight are the turnovers they forced and the points that have come along with those forced turnovers.
Houston, a whole new 5 on the floor. Duncan, he's checked in for San Antonio. Here's Howard. Duncan with the block. Parker outside. Back to Leonard. All sorts of time. The Spurs rebound. West kicks to Leonard. Now the dish to Duncan. Parker outside. Goes up again. Misses off the right iron.
Can't get anything to drop. I mean, the way he's going is probably not something he should try and shoot his way out of.
Well, they say you should shoot your way out of it, but his teammates probably have other thoughts in mind. The last thing they want to see him doing is continuing to cast that jumper up.
Right at the free throw line, James Harden with the rebound.
Surprisingly, he hasn't really been a big part of their offense. I don't think he ever got into a rhythm.
Gets it to go from beyond the arc. Harden's got 9 points here in the second half.
And the Rockets have lost out on some free agent wars the past few years. They have remained competitive, but you wonder what could have been if they landed or kept some of those big names.
San Antonio calls timeout. They're losing by 19. 1:42 left in the fourth quarter. Montejunas has checked in for Josh Smith. And San Antonio with the change here, too. Mills, he's checked in for West. Here's Leonard. 3 from the inbound, and that comes off the assist by Duncan. 14 points for Kawhi Leonard. And with the Rockets, it's no secret that they take a very analytical approach to team building. Greg, you and I talked about that. And Clark, you wonder if that hurts them in free agency.
Well, when your front office makes no qualms about viewing players as simply just assets, it can be a hard sell to a free agent.
And here's Harden. Kawhi Leonard getting his 3 to go. The 3.
And guys, what we saw here tonight is one side having everything going for them. Huge margin of victory for the Rockets.
Great, generous ball movement tonight. A thing of beauty.
Yeah, a remarkable team effort, Kevin. Everybody got involved, and that paid dividends.
And so they'll be advancing their win total to 42 games.
I mean, when you look at the stats, you'll see just how dominant a game this was for James Harden. It was the kind of game for him that all scorers dream of, where the basket seemed as wide as a barrel.
His touch has disappeared on him this quarter. He just hasn't been able to get it going.
That is just a careless turnover. You've got to be smarter in those exchanges.
Parker against Beverly. Parker kicks to Mills. The Spurs working the ball around now. Leonard attacking Parker. Nice pass. Led him to the rack perfectly for the layup.
Room service delivery right there, fellas. Wonderful entry feed.
Now the feed to Montejunas. Off target from three-point range. 2 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. And here's Mills from the arc. Montejunas grabs the miss.
And he made sure not to just draw the foul. That was good defense out on the perimeter.
Very good. He's a thinking man's defender. Knows how to bother even the best shooters without being overly aggressive.
And the rejection by Harden. So we see the Rockets taking the win here. Even early on in this one, it seemed like they were happy to be playing at home tonight.
Well, it makes a big difference. I mean, you never...
Dwight coming.
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Thank you, Kevin. And now let's move on to the presentation of James Harden.
That was the James Harden we've come to know and love. A player that brings nothing but fear to players that have to guard him. I've said this for a while now. He's the best one-on-one player.